I think there's just no way to actually make barriers see-through for bears. Which is interesting, because, you know, in all the zoos that I'm going to, there's like glass barriers and there's bears behind them, so maybe that goes to show me something about like the security in these zoos. Maybe the game's also just wrong. I do hope that it is the latter.
After your sterling work in China, I got a bit of good news, better news situation for you. The good news is that I'm promoting you to apprentice zoo manager. The better news is you get to build a new zoo from scratch. That said, you will be on your own this time. No help from Nancy, although she wishes you luck. So, I suppose it's actually more of a good news, better news, and then slightly worse news situation. Either way, it's a chance for you to really prove yourself. Now, for this zoo, I'll want to see a good few different habitat and exhibit species, and at least as many guests to look at them. I'd also like you to keep your staff nice and happy as much as you can. And obviously the same's true of the animals as well. Oh, and let's see. Yeah, you should try to turn a good-sized profit to boot, so we can continue our vital work elsewhere. There. That should keep you going for a while. I'll check in with you later. Good luck.
Alright everybody, and with that now said, hello and welcome back to another episode on Planet Zoo with me, Spacefish. Now, as you all may remember, in the last episode we kind of left off with getting the tutorial section of the career mode done, and, you know, I was kind of thinking I really want to start my own zoo, and kind of contemplated about it a bit. I was really not quite sure, kind of went back and forth a bit, but now today I kind of just decided to get going with one more career zoo. So, I certainly want to get my own zoo going rather soon, but I feel that while I have gotten a bit of inspiration from like the first few zoos that we were working on, I could still use a bit more of that, because as opposed to like Planet Coaster, where this stuff is really, really easy for me, I think in Planet Zoo, you know, things may become a little bit more complicated. I think there's a lot of nice thematics you can go for. There's a lot of nice builds you can go for. But I would just like to kind of get a little bit more inspiration. And all at the same time also maybe get the chance to maybe make a few of my own mistakes with this kind of stuff before I actually get into making my own zoo. And, you know, I really just don't want to make those mistakes in that zoo. I kind of want to make them right now so that, you know, I can learn from them hopefully, and then when we actually get to making our very own zoo that we will stick with for a very, very long time, obviously, I've hopefully already got a bit more experience in all this stuff. So, with that said, as I said, we are now still in the campaign mode, just right in the next mission after the Panda Park mission, apparently in Maple Leaf Wildlife Park, and we've now been tasked with building something totally from scratch, without any help, without anything. So, I feel this is going to be a big one, and it's going to be a big task, and there's going to be a lot of things to actually account for, and I'm sure I'm going to forget about a whole lot of like people and stations and everything that we will need. So let's see how everything is going to go. For the time being, let's check out what we have out here. We've got the vet surgery right here. We've got a trade center. We've got a staff room. We've got the quarantine, and we have got a keeper hut. Okay, so I think that should cover all the basics for at least our first one or two, God, habitats. This place is so big, though. God, you could place so much stuff out here. That's absolutely mental. And this, I have to say, like, this little entrance area is so beautiful already. Gotta kind of continue the theme, but that's going to be quite the big task, especially with this path having that wonkiness in it. Okay. Well, that said, what are we going to start with? I don't know. Let's see what goals we have for a start. So bronze is going to be at least 3 habitat species in the zoo, have at least 175 guests in the zoo. Okay, and there's just more species, more exhibit species. Okay, so exhibits were these little small thingies, weren't they? staff happiness, and then yearly profit. Okay, so it's gonna be a lot of work to do. I'm gonna pause things because honestly, there's no reason to keep time playing when we don't even have anything for people to come visit us for. So, what do we have out here? We've got this little space. I would like to kind of fill it. I'm just not sure with what. I wouldn't think that it's really enough space for much of any animal habitats. Maybe we could have, like, you know, some facilities like for eating and drinking or something out here, and that would maybe be an option for the time being. Let's look at animal trading. So we are in this sort of, well, somewhat northern setting, right? So let's just kind of see what kind of ideas what would fit in. I mean, I think wolves would be kind of cool, wouldn't they? I feel wolves would fit in pretty nicely, to be honest. What kind of filters do we have here? Only species, not like what kind of space they want to live in or something? Okay. Let's just scroll through this. Oh wait, so it is actually kind of okay. I mean, turtles I don't think fit in too nicely. Bisons, on the other hand side, could be pretty cool. We'd probably want to check out like the Zoopedia on those guys. I've got wildebeests, whatever. Could fit in nicely. Oh, bears. Oh, that's sick. I definitely want bears, and I definitely want wolves, I think. So we've got grizzlies, and we've got Formosan black bears. I think grizzlies are nice and fitting, though, aren't they? Oh, interesting. So, okay, so males, yeah, okay, it's just a male-female difference, not like the middle, non-middle difference from the appearance here. Okay, then we've got peafowls. I mean, peafowls are always, you know, always a nice addition to every zoo. I don't know. I remember rarely any zoos out here in Germany that don't have peafowls in them running around like mad. So always very interesting. Then we've got... Okay, I mean, those guys don't really all fit in too nicely. Same thing for the ring-tailed lemurs, I think. Same thing for you. Well, timber wolves we were already talking about. Definitely want those in the zoo. And, well, there we go. Okay, so... I mean, honestly, I'm not quite sure, right? So, like, peafowls, like, definitely like to have. That would be my fourth species, right? Maybe, like, both kinds of bears would be nice to have. So we would be at 5. And then bisons and... I don't know, I'm not quite sure. What was the max goal out here? 7 habitat species. I'm not sure I could cover it with only, like, native to this place kind of species, to be honest. Which is slightly annoying. Because I would love to be able to keep it at that. And I mean, snow leopards, it's really... This is really not quite the place you would see snow leopards in, I wouldn't think. Okay, well, interesting. So, I think let's kind of scope out the space for some habitats, and I think this looks like a very, very decent place to start overall. And look at that. So, even like a small river back there. So, if we find any animals that want like some river in their habitats, could provide that. Now, the question is, right, you always see the animal needs when you already have the animals. But if I go into, like, Zoopedia, and I check out all these animals out here, wow, it's a lot more than I see right now. If I look for grizzly bears, for example, right, can I... Doesn't seem I can really see... Oh, no, wait, out here, yeah, natural habitat. So, yeah, I mean, the space fits about, just as I said, kind of... thought that we need grade 4 climb proof above 2 meters height. Otherwise, they're going to go and munch away at the guests. We don't want that to happen, I don't think. No requirement for water, no climbing requirement. Quite a bit of land requirement, which doesn't make sense, I suppose. Okay. Okay, so I just want to kind of look through right now, right? See if we have any animals with water requirement, because we could obviously use that space nicely out there already. You don't have any water requirement either. Then we've got wildebeests. Yeah, I kind of felt that they didn't fit in too well, so I mean, that's probably a no. And I mean, then these guys fit in sort of somewhat alright-ish. But they don't want water either. And then we've got the wolves. I mean, I won't think that the wolves... would be, you know, very... Yeah, okay. Cool. So I think let's just kind of look at habitat requirements then. So these guys need 1,100 square meters, which is a lot. I think they all probably need a lot. Well, the grizzlies needed like 750, which is certainly less. And then like the bisons would be my third option for a start, which need 420. Okay, so maybe these are the guys to get that space then, which is kind of interesting because I would have thought they would especially want a lot of space, but apparently not. Okay, let's actually, before we do this, so what do you guys need? Grade 3 above 1.25 meters. Okay, so I would like to kind of fit in the barrier thematic somewhat nicely with the theme out here, so I would make it wooden locks. I think that fits kind of nicely. Question being, what's like the grade? So this is grade 3, and then bricks are, for example, grade 5, so I couldn't use wood for bears. Unless I can reinforce it somehow, which I don't think is the case. Doesn't really look like it. Okay. Yeah, no, definitely not. So, we would most certainly need a different barrier then, unfortunately, for the bears, which I really kind of don't quite like. Given that the wood fits so nicely into the appearance out here, but that's apparently going to be what it is. So, that said though, I am going to actually need an axis for my zookeepers too, and I think I'm going to place the access point somewhere back there. So, oh, it's kind of a good question, right? Is this sort of, does this count like a barrier, or does it not? I wouldn't want them to be able to escape out here, right? But really not quite sure, you know, if we could leave it open, because I think we had the situation already, right, where like, 1.25 meters, by the way, super, super low. How did I set height again? That's definitely the wrong button. There's tooltips? No? Is there even tooltips in this game still? Oh, there's only tooltips in Planet Coaster, of course. Okay, I mean, this is turning just as it used to be. Let's just kind of go through all the somewhat obvious buttons, I suppose. Can I? Nope. Let's maybe plant something down for a start, and then we can sort of see. Because I would kind of like, to be honest, to have like the habitat barrier out here somewhat, right? So that we could sort of start right here. Then, you know, vary. Was it 1.25, right? 1.25. And then, you know, you sort of just go around here. Can I maybe make it a bit shorter? Length that's down here. Okay, so we could make it a bit shorter if we wanted to. Probably want to turn off the angle snap as well then. And that way we can make it nice and round somewhat. And then probably want to place a window in there too, don't I? Oh, this is only glass is only resistance grade 2 though. It needs 1.25 meters in height, right? So in theory, guests should be able to see things. But how? Climbable, not watertight. What do I? Let me just double check that I'm doing this right. See, that's where I'm just saying, right? Like, I think the practice will help, and now it's just my first bit of trial and error more than anything. So yeah, grade 3, more than 1.25. I'm doing exactly 1.25. That's probably a bit of an issue. So let's edit that barrier. Let's go and go 1.3 then, just to, you know, make sure. It should still be low enough for people to be able to see it. The thing that I'm kind of wondering about, so like bears and everything, can we not just make it 1.3, please? What's that now? Absolutely no clue what that is. I would like 1.3. Okay, apparently not possible. Let's do 1.29. Ooh. Come on. Thanks. Now it's at 1.32. You are absolutely joking, are you? How does the one impact the other? Oh, whatever. Okay, so we will keep this out at like 1.32 then. If I can even change the note. Do I know? What? I don't even get it. Guys, I'm already lost. Oh my god. No, no. Perfect, okay. Can we, may I kind of, you know, just trash that? Is that going to stay at 1.32? I really hope so. Yep, okay. So, I will just hope that the guests can actually see over this barrier, because if they can't, that's kind of an issue, because apparently I can't place glass, because, like, the Beasons would probably just start smashing through it, so yeah, it's probably something we don't want to have happen. So let's try something like this for a start. So, what I'm like kind of wondering about, right, is we have obviously got all this hilly terrain out here, so do I need to go all the way with the habitat barrier, or does this already count as a closed-off habitat? Because obviously they can't get themselves out of here, right? I wouldn't imagine they're able to get themselves out of here either. The only kind of point I'm slightly worried about is this one here, but that kind of seems like it is going to be more than like 1.25 meters in height. I mean, just looking at the pole height right here, that's, I mean, in theory, this should be a closed-off habitat, right? I'm just wondering if it actually is. Well, for the time being, let's place a habitat gate, and you can see, guests should be able to see across this, like, look at kind of habitat gate height here compared to the rest of like the overall wall, so in theory that should be good. Now for the bears, I'm really wondering if we need some kind of viewing platform or something to actually make that work, because I don't know, that glass is obviously not very smash proof, so unless I can somehow, no, wait, I don't want to do that. Yeah, I think there's just no way to actually make barriers to see through for bears. Which is interesting, because, you know, in all the zoos that I'm going to, there's like glass barriers and there's bears behind them, so maybe that goes to show me something about like the security in these zoos. Maybe the game's also just wrong. I do hope that it is the latter. But that said, you know, interesting. So, cannot do that apparently. Oh wait, did I just change it? Oh, I didn't know you could change it all at once. Maybe I already did and just forgot, but okay. Interesting. Very, very interesting. That said, so if you're a visitor now, you should just be able to see across like this and just watch the Beasons, you know, chilling in their habitat, doing things. But we'll obviously need to sort of prepare it for them, you know, get some plants in there that they like and everything. And I'm really kind of worried that this is not properly closed off or something. Incomplete. Yeah, say that's what I'm saying. Okay, so that does not work. Annoying, but okay. I will have to close it off then. So, I suppose let's just do something like this here. Oh, wait, that doesn't even work. Well, this does seem to be working wherever that barrier just disappeared to. It does seem to be working at least. Okay, so we'll have to do it like that, unfortunately. That does look a bit wonky, I'm not gonna lie, but has to be that way, so maybe we can just kind of think of something to cover this up slightly. Okay, which is kind of interesting, right? Because, you know, if you'll recall, that was not the way for, like, a few of those habitats that we already saw in career mode. So if you all know, what I can do to, you know, maybe have some of this count as a barrier so I don't have to go all the way, definitely let me know, because I really, really don't know at all. That said, so I'm guessing for facilities we would want some donation boxes out here, right? So I'm gonna place a few. I'm not really sure how many I need or where I need them. I'm gonna be placing a few. I'm not sure if that's the correct placement. That looks a bit glitched into the wall. Let's do it like that instead. And let's get rid of this thing. And then, should we place one more here? Let's just do that. Okay, so people can now donate money if they feel like it. And, you know, we could get like some education boards out here, get some educational speakers. Maybe that's a good thing, actually, you know. Education coverage is obviously kind of important, as we learned before, so... Yeah, we can actually click that. Okay, that's cool. And we cannot pick any educational content right now. Okay, we'll have to do that after we actually put the animals in there, so I kind of remember where the speakers were at. I don't want to just have speakers down below the floor that I can never access again to actually get them some content for people to learn, because that's probably a bit of an issue. Okay, so that should be kind of at least a very, very basic setup. Now what we will need, as I said before, is some stuff for the animals to actually feel happy and get all the things they need. So research status died as hay, so we definitely need, of course, some place where they can eat, and I think let's make the place like somewhere here where they can eat. They also need a place where they can sleep, probably, which we can make somewhat more in the back, so you know they can actually chill and people can still see it from afar, I suppose. And then we will need some of the plants for them. So for a start, construction is the wrong thing. Let's go to habitat, let's go to food and water, and let's filter by species. Let's get the American mason out there, and oh, I mean, that's pretty cool, I'll have to say. Let's kind of maybe place the water pipe, yeah, okay. Is there anything else? No, so they drink from this. Let's place it out here. I think that's pretty cool. I like that place. I think that fits in quite nicely. We've also got a large water trough, but I kind of prefer that, to be honest. So if it's going to give them enough water, you know, I'm going to be happy with that. We've got feeding troughs, and we will... I think we'll make those... We'll make that a large one, shall we? Or should we make it two mediums, maybe? I think let's make it two mediums. Let's place one right here. One right there, just so we can spread it a bit for people to see. And then, as I said, and like... I really sometimes don't like the way that these things absolutely don't fit in, so we'll have to think of something to actually cover it up a bit. You know, not make it obviously plunked into the landscape, if that makes any sense. So, that for a start then. Oh, they actually like, wait, pronghorn antelopes? Are those even living in the same biome? Oh, they are. Okay, I mean, that's pretty cool. Didn't know antelopes lived all the way that far up north. I mean, that looks like it's almost... Is it already Canada? It could be, right? I think that's sort of out the border here. I don't want to totally mess up here in geography or anything, but I'm feeling that's about it, so... I think they're already slightly into Canada, which is interesting. Really didn't know. Really didn't know. So, very interesting learning for the day for me. So maybe we can actually make them share their habitat with these guys later on. That's it. Let's get back to... Let's actually get rid of this. Let's go back to the bisons. And... What else? What do we need? Research status, natural habitat. I've got no clue whatsoever. So, I mean, they will need some enrichment. So let's get some enrichment stuff. We'll definitely need that. So, we'll be here in habitat. We'll go to enrichment items, and there's none. Interesting. Maybe they don't need that stuff. And then we've got shelters, and the thing is, right, can you really not build those shelters on your own? I think somebody had told me that it was actually somehow possible. So maybe I will kind of in the future make some of these shelters on our own. I think for a start, though, I would like to go with one of these, just because it kind of fits in with the habitat sort of theme somewhat nicely anyway. So let's do that, and let's make one of these flatter ones and kind of, you know, plunk it in here, you know, get it merged into that wall a bit. If we can sort of make that happen with the camera somewhat working out for me. Let's see. So I would not want it to glitch through, but if we can make it work sort of like this, I think that's kind of nice. Okay, and then we'll just get like a bit of hay and stuff out there for them, so they can kind of sleep. Extra large leaves. Okay. So let's do something like that. Bit of leaves like that. Like a bit of small bedding out here, so we've got it all nice and covered up. Yeah, you know, something like that. I think that's pretty cool. I like that. You know, I kind of like when the wood is not visibly sticking through and a wooden platform underneath. So I think that's kind of cool. I'm not quite sure it will in the end be enough sleeping space. Like probably when we get like the antelopes, we will need more. But for a start, I think it equips us with the stuff that we need. So let's just go to animal trading, actually. Let's get to these bisons. And then we can kind of just see what else they want in terms of, like, plants and everything. Because I think we kind of have, like, everything we know from Zoopedia we've already done. And everything else we'll probably kind of need to find out ourselves. So, ooh, this guy's good. I do have conservation credits, so... do I want to go for that, not guy, for that lady? I'm sorry. I think it's cool. Like 7.7 years, still sort of young as well. I like it. Let's go for her. High fertility and size and... okay, yeah, I think that's cool. And then I want like a fertile male as well, so that we can hopefully sometime also, breed some more of them. And the males are all pretty old except for name, apparently. And we already got Xantara, obviously. So I think Bename's kind of the youngest one, isn't he? Yeah, very much looks like it. Well, we've got Embrace out here. Okay. Okay, so Embrace has got a higher fertility and, which is pretty important, actually, I would think, also higher immunity. So, let's go for Embrace then. All right, cool. And then let's send the two to the zoo. We've got one delivery schedule right here. Let's get the time playing again, actually, and we should move zoo. Is that it? Where's my actual animal trading? Animal storage. Xantara. Send to zoo. There we go. Delivery scheduled. Awesome. And we'll probably have to have like a look at employees and everything else soon as well. But for a start, let's speed up time. Let's see our first Mason here, hopefully, in the habitat very, 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 very soon. See, there's our keeper. Our only one so far. Whoa, God, holy moly. Look at that. Welcome, buddy. He looks like a good boy, doesn't he? I love that. That's awesome. You have no keepers to tend your animals? Oh boy. Oh, she's a caretaker. She's not a keeper. Okay, let's hire a keeper. Let's place me here. Gotta get a keeper most definitely. Probably want to hire a mechanic too. You know, and keep those barriers up to date and everything. I would think, at least. I think that's pretty important. Don't have a workshop, don't have a research center, so that's something we need to provide on for the time being. Hello, buddy. I hope you're good. And you don't have any enrichment, but there was no enrichment for you. Maybe we need to research that. Interesting. Maybe that's something we actually need to research. Other than that, he does seem pretty happy, which is awesome. It's great to see. Plants are not really fitting, but it does seem pretty fine for like plant and tree coverage, which is interesting because there's literally next to nothing in here. So I'll try to just hide away this stuff a bit, and then this habitat is probably about done, which is interesting. And there's she. Hello, girl. Awesome. So there we go. Our first two bisons now in this brand new zoo that we just built from scratch. Oh, expect arriving within 23 months, so that's not good news right there. Let's try and get everything up to snuff until then, but for the time being, this has been it for this little, slow start of me making my own mistakes in Planet Zoo. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all are looking forward to the next few episodes in which we will hopefully build this zoo up to something new and awesome. And, well, I hope you enjoyed. So if you did, please make sure to hit that like button down below. That does always help out the channel. And if you're new around here and did enjoy this episode and would like to stay around for more of my content, also definitely make sure to subscribe right down below and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on any future upcoming episodes. That said, as always, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.